guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Hopefully this video finds you guys doing well. Today we're going to cover our third and final, at least for the foreseeable future, rare champion out of this most recent batch of 22 new champions in the game. I do think that 3 rares kind of separate themselves as, hey, worth 6 stars, worth investing your hard-earned resources into making these champions a part of some of your teams. So we talked about Draconis, who is my favorite personally out of the 3, but this one is probably really close. I was looking at some tier lists and I saw that the tier list that I looked at 3, all ranked this guy number 1. I personally do still prefer Draconis, but it's close, right? So the 3 champions, we have Dilgol today. We had his brother, Avir the Alchmage, and we also had Draconis. And I'll include, in case you guys missed them, where is Draconis? At the top, right? There he is. I'll include a guide for all, or the links, excuse me, for all 3 of these champion guides if you want to check out I'll do 2 champion guides in the description below. Before we get into his kit and try him out in a couple dungeons, just wanted to kind of check in with you guys. It's been a while since I've talked about anything non-Raid Shadow Legends related, so feel free to fast forward 10 seconds if you don't care. But I feel it's kind of scary, right? Because I feel like my life is getting a little bit back to normal. My gym has been open for a few months, which is great mentally for me. I don't know about like physically and COVID related, but even in my neck of the woods, we have bars and restaurants kind of opening back up, full-fledged opening back up with late hours. We also have movie theaters, which I'm thinking about seeing Tenet. I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, so I'm thinking about actually going to the movie theater solo. I just got done recording a video for my other channel too, and I kind of mentioned the same thing. Have any of you guys been to the movie theaters since COVID? How did it go? And have you ever been to the movie theaters solo? I thought I was going to be super embarrassed, but I did it one time right before COVID. I saw 1917. Great movie, and I loved it. Anyway, guys, that's how I'm doing. How are you guys doing? Today we have Dilgol. So why is this champion good, right? First of all, he has a gun, which is pretty cool, a rifle. We have the Crippler round on the A1. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. That's the weak version of decreased speed. On the Shot Spray, attacks all enemies 2 times on a 3-turn cooldown. Not bad at all, right? Each hit has an 85% chance when booked of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. That means that 2 out of every 3 turns, you can have a 50% decreased accuracy debuff on all of your enemies. That's really powerful. We talked about decreased accuracy, I think 2 videos ago, and how it is an underrated ability. That's 50%. That's their accuracy cut in half after all their gear and whatever else is accounted for. So what you can do is build a team. This is why, you know, in a nutshell, why he's so good, or why he's not like a top 2 or 3 rare, but why he's serviceable and worth ranking up. Because if you build a team, even of squishy, rare-only champions, but you just add a little bit extra resist, let's say you throw them all in resist banners, and then you have Shot Spray with the decreased accuracy, you're not going to be taking any debuffs. Talking about poison, stuns, you name it, you'll be resisting everything in dungeons. And that is the, I wouldn't say hidden value, but that's really the value in this champion, okay? So something for you guys to think about as well. And it gets a little bit better too on his A3, or at least there's more good stuff, I should say. Big Game Hunter attacks one enemy 3 times. He is viable for Fire Knight as well. He's viable everywhere, every dungeon, because he is Void Affinity, right? So there's no bad matchups. And with a 3-hitter on the A3, gonna help you a little bit against that shield, and each hit has a 55% chance of landing the strong version of decreased defense. Not bad. That's a 3-time, so it's very consistent. You're almost always landing the strong version because each hit has that separate, again, 65% chance of landing that. So again, really solid champion, a little bit more than meets the eye. So I have a very typical War Master build on him. I will note this is why you should never just blindly copy paste Masteries. I already had a lot of crit rate on this champion, so I went with attack instead. Obviously, it would behoove you guys to go with crit rate instead, or deadly precisions, excuse me, as kind of a baseline. On the support tree, just went with accuracy. I really wanted to put a resistance banner on this champion. I ended up doing so. So because of that, I looked for accuracy. One of the best places to get accuracy is getting a couple rolls on an accuracy amulet, okay? And that's what I got on this champion. So I think I have like 40-something accuracy just off his amulet. So pay attention. whether it's HP, whether it's crit damage, or whether it's defense amulets, guys, that you farm, if you get an accuracy epic, roll that up. See if you get a couple rolls on accuracy before you sell it, no matter what, because accuracy is a really nice to have, like I said, 30, 40 or more accuracy out of the amulet, okay? That allows you, frees you up to go ahead and put something else on the banner other than accuracy. Banner is a great source of stats, HP, defense, attack, you name it, resistance in this case. So if you can take it away from accuracy and put something else, get the accuracy somewhere else, it's going to be a huge benefit to that champion. So I went Lore of Steel, I went Master Hexer to extend his decreased accuracy, and I went Sniper to increase. You notice that it was an 85% chance and a 65% chance on the accuracy and the defense, so just getting those up a little bit more with the Sniper Mastery is going to be important as well on this champion. By the way, guys, if any of you guys have him built out, let me know, right? And again, you can see kind of from the reviews here, granted, they don't really mean much, but you can use him pretty much anywhere. Faction Wars, Fire Knight, Spider Den, campaign locations, all of the keeps, all of the dungeons. I'm not going to name them all off. He's not a clan boss champion. He's really not an arena champion either, but he's a dungeon, campaign, progression, faction wars type champion, okay? In terms of artifacts on this dude, I already talked about it. I have resistance banner. I have a crit damage, but really more importantly than the crit damage, honestly, is the accuracy. 49 accuracy on that. And then I have just HP or defense, some sustainability on the ring. Of course, if you guys have a lot of revivers, if you're running like Caden and Dilgol the Drakes on the same team, and you can afford to put him in more attack, go ahead and do that. He can put out a surprising amount of damage. Definitely not going to be your main nuker, but you guys will see once we take him to the dungeons. I don't want to spend too much time rambling. I went attack percentage on the chest. If he's dying, go defense or HP. Don't stress him doing maximum damage. Stress having that accuracy high enough and giving a little bit of resist if you can too. So I have a resist set on him as well. Speed on the boots, crit rate on the gauntlets. Pretty standard stuff here, guys. I went with a speed, an accuracy, and a resist set on this champion. You do want to have him fast, so build him out with some speed. Make sure you put speed on his boots. You need him going often. That way he can constantly apply, again, the decreased accuracy to the enemies. So that's how I have him built out, guys. Let's go ahead and take him for a spin. I have kind of an interesting, I decided to kind of switch up my teams a little bit because I do go to the same kind of characters every time. So just kind of messing around with him. I decided to spotlight 3 of the new champions all together in Caden, Avir the Alchmage, Dilgol the Drakes, and just for defense down, I have Zargala in there as well. So it's going to be interesting to compare the damage between, you know, all of these champions, to be fair. There he goes. Decreased accuracy landed successfully on all the enemies. If you didn't notice, he did around, he does anywhere from, like, the way I have him built out with not a lot of crit damage, okay? I don't have OP gear. I have good accessories on him, but the rest of the gear is just, you know, pretty good. I have a 5-star gauntlet, a 5-star chest, rare at that as well. But this is the type of damage you can expect from this champion if you have, like, good gear but not god tier gear, right? And again, he's putting out, I don't know, anywhere from 4,000 to, and there's no decreased defense, no weaken on any of these champions. If there is a decreased defense or a weaken on, like, these waves, he'll be putting out around 9,000 to 14,000 per hit, but it's a multi-hitter, so take that into consideration as well. This is a rather long first wave, but, you know, whatever, gets the job done, right? All we're looking for, I'll say this again, as I say every video now, all we're looking for is 100% success rate. We don't care if it takes us 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute, really, you know, because unless you're the hardcore biggest whale out there, then it doesn't matter. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I think I mentioned this before a couple months ago, but I think I got in the bad habit. I've been doing raid videos now for over a year, well over a year now. In the beginning, I cringe at my content because I think it's really difficult as a content creator in this game not to always take into consideration that people watching me are not all at the same progression that I'm at, you know? And I think that you can, it's very tricky not to just get in the mindset of, yeah, just do this and this and this without kind of really understanding the perspective of everybody in the game, right? Not just the big spenders or, you know, whatever. So with that said, that's the reason I always mention is don't concern yourself too much with speed, you know? I mean, I made videos way back in the day where I was just like, oh, 50-second Fire Knight team. And it's just like, dude, who the hell cares, man? Like, seriously. It might be interesting from time to time just to see, like, okay, what is the best team possible for whatever dungeon. But for the most part, let's be practical here and talk about, you know, realistic goals for everybody. So you can see we got a few resists there, but we didn't get all resists. Actually, he landed a couple weekends on my champions. Now, or she, I think it's a mother dragon, right? So, good time to mention this. If you're gonna go with a strategy, I have none of these champions except for Dilgol. Sorry, it's like a hobbit name over here, right? I feel like these guys are all hobbits, not dwarfs. But if you're going to go the route of building him up and building kind of a resist team around him, you're going to want a resist lead as well. There's a lot of good rare resist leads and epic resist leads in the game. Fenisil, by the way, is one of them who's really, really good. I think it's 70 in all dungeons, I believe. There's a few good resist leads. Pairing him, even Seer for an epic champion too, pairing him with a resist lead is going to make him even better. Having a high resist kind of dungeon team, and again, if you're going to build a team all around him, consider putting everybody in resist. Look at all those resists. Look at all those resists. Granted, we are taking some debuffs, but we're resisting a lot of poisons here. And again, this is going to be like a 4-minute run. It's not super fast, but it's super effective. I mean, there's no point in this match are we in jeopardy of losing. And again, we're getting a lot of resist. It's easy to see the debuffs when they land, but you really have to be paying attention. I probably should just have gone single time to see all the resist every single time, not just against the dragon, but also against the waves, right? So there we go. And look at that damage, man. He out-damaged almost, I mean, it's basically Zargala, Kaden, and Dilgol, all with basically 950,000 damage, right? So in terms of putting out damage, the fact that he is the same as Zargala in Savage gear, an epic champion known to be a good nuker, says a lot about this guy, right? He's a rare void champion. I was impressed with his damage output, and you can also compare that to Avir, the Alchemage, who, again, if you want to check out that video in Cadence, you'll see that they're both in 100% crit rate as well, okay? And I'm not focusing on just loading up attack on this champion at all in terms to get that damage. Keep in mind, I'll show you one more time, and then I'll show you a quick, I don't know, I'll show you Fire Knight or something. Actually, I think I have another fun kind of team for you in Ice Golem, so I'll show you that. But let me see. Check this out, guys. I mean, I didn't show you his total stats, which is what I want to do real quick for you guys. I have his crit rate a little bit high, 112. But his crit damage is pretty low, I guess. It's not high or low, but 147, certainly not sky high. And again, his attack is less than 3,000. So I decided to go, you know, with that HP ring on this champion, with a little bit of defense built on this champion as well. So I just didn't even worry about looking for attack percentage, and we have it on the very first artifact I go to. But you'll see, like, there's no attack percentage on any of these artifacts except for it looks like, okay, I get a little bit here, but really at the end of the day, you know, not much. I never even look out for it when I was building this champion. And of course, you could optimize him much better to be a little bit better of a nuker. Keep in mind, though, that War Master is getting a bunch of that damage as well. So War Master is very important if you want or expect any damage out of this champion. So let's check out Ice Golem's peak here, guys. I do think we have an Ice Golem tournament right now, I believe. Check out this team, guys. We went with him again, but I wanted to show you, and I'll link his guide as well. Tuak the Wanderer, dude. This guy is a damage machine. He is a DPS machine, dude. He's really cool. And another champion similar to Dilgol. Dilgol. I always have to look to cheat. I'm like, Dilgol? Similar to Dilgol in the fact that when you look at his kit for the first time, you're like, you know, it looks all right. But it adds up, right? And you're gonna be shocked, or maybe not. If you saw the video, you won't be, but you will be. Some of you will be surprised when you see how much this Tuak guy damage he puts out. We're talking like 2 million plus damage in level 20 dungeons pretty consistently. So again, landing all of those decreased accuracies. I didn't see how much damage he did, but it's just gonna be solid, right? The nice thing is that in Ice Golem, I always love to have at least one Reviver on my squad if you have one, just to deal with a Fellhound Reflect, but it looks like it's not even going to be an issue here. And again, just solid team, right? get to the Ice Golem here. My only concern with this team is it going to be a 100% success rate when we get to the Ice Golem? You'll notice that shield too. I do have Stag Knight in a shield set. He actually has high base HP. I want to say like 21,000 HP on Stag Knight. So a pretty viable candidate for a shield set if you're looking for that extra support on your team. And there's kind of a nice synergy between anybody who lands debuffs, but especially, you know, Dilgol because of his decreased accuracy with Stag Knight in his pinpoint accuracy passive. Because every time we get a resist on decreased accuracy, Stag's going to go ahead and give him that bump of extra 50 accuracy, so not bad to have that as well, right? So it looks like this team is slow and steady wins the race for the most part, and I would say it's probably going to be around another 3.5 minute run or so. But again, here, not super concerned with time. I do have Apothecary in the lead. Nice defensive aura. Why not? Wanted to kind of make a well-balanced team, right? I have my debuffer in Stag Knight. Also in the shield, I have a little bit of extra speed, some healage and revival on Syl the Drace with some crowd control. I have the decreased accuracy, the higher resist, keeping the team alive and resisting some of the debuffs from Dilgol. And of course, Tuak is my main damage dealer on this team. You can see he's putting out, what, 20, 40, 60k damage, even off of his A1. Not bad at all, right? And here he goes with his AoE. Again, that's like 40k damage. He's an impressive champion, man. He really is. And there he goes, 70k with the stun. Not bad at all. Really, how many times am I going to say not bad at all, huh? I love when I critique myself live. Nothing better, right? Nothing better. I want to throw the question to you guys as we kind of wrap up today's video. Is there any champions out there that I have not covered? You know, we did, I guess Faye would be one. I have her, so maybe I'll do a guide on her. Although, I have seen all the other raid YouTubers, pretty much all of them did a guide on her as well. So, you know, sometimes I like to cover champions who I don't see a lot of guides on first, right? At least prioritize those champions. But let me ask you, is there any of these new champions you absolutely love? You know, are any of you guys lucky enough to have Ursaga the Warcaller? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I try to read them all and take your champion suggestions into consideration always in terms of who am I going to build out next, and you know, just looking for what you guys are into. So that's going to do it. Defense, crap. But either way, at the end of the day, still, we had Apothecary putting out 200k damage. We had Tuak the Wanderer putting out 1.6 mil. And then we had Dilgol and Stag Knight putting around 1 million. Syl the Drake's just trailing behind. But most importantly, we kept the team alive, very healthy throughout the duration of that battle, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. If you like the content here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and as always, take care, guys.